Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by TaylorMade.
As we welcome you into our post-game coverage, Cara Banks happy to be alongside a pair of PGA Tour winners in Brandel Chambly and Jim Gallagher Jr. And it's funny to watch Dustin Johnson and Jon Rahm kind of going head-to-head again today. Don't get me wrong, plenty of other contenders in the field behind them, Brandel, but it was just last week that we were sat here 5 days ago commenting on the epic putts they both displayed on the final green at Olympia Fields in that playoff where ultimately Jon Rahm came out on top. It was fun to see numbers 1 and 2 battle again today, wasn't it?
Yeah, perhaps this is their encore performance. At one point I thought I was watching Beowulf and Grindel out there. They had made through 15 holes, 5 birdies each, all of them coming on the same holes. And towards the end of the round, Jim, as you were watching, the guys were making 20, 30 footers on top of each other just like they did last week.
Oh, absolutely. I even think at the beginning of the day, you look at number 2, the par 3, DJ hit it in there about 7, 8 feet. Rahm hit it 19. Rahm makes it, DJ makes it. So we knew something special was probably going to happen. They didn't drive the ball well for neither one of them, but Rahm really got a lot out of his round today.
Dustin, outside of 8 and 9, it seemed like pretty mistake-free-ish golf round out there. Were you satisfied with the way you played?
Yeah, I mean, satisfied, sure. It's, you know, I need to hit a little straighter tomorrow. I didn't hit enough fairways today. Obviously, this golf course, you got to play from the fairway. If you play from the fairway, you can attack it, and you get plenty in short irons. I mean, there's still some long holes where, you know, you'll take your 4s and keep on going. But if you hit it in the fairway, there's really not a hole that you can't really get after, you know, being aggressive from the fairway. But yeah, I'm pleased with the way I played. You know, 3 under around here is pretty solid score. You know, just need to keep doing what I'm doing. I feel like I'm swinging well, and, you know, keep giving myself some looks.
You're number 1 in the world, number 1 in the standings, number 2 in the world, and number 2 in the standings. When you're playing competitor today, you would make a putt seem like you would make one on top of him, either consciously or subconsciously. Do you feel like he's pushing you a little bit?
Well, I mean, obviously, any of the guys that are up around the lead, you know, I know it's still day 1, but it kind of doesn't feel like it just because of the way you start. But you know, you still got 3 more rounds, and yeah, I mean, it was obviously it was fun playing out there with Jon today. We both played pretty solid. You know, a couple of lip outs, you know, I had where, you know, especially there on the last hole, I'd like to have that one back, but just didn't hit it. Just hit a poor putt, pushed it a little bit. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the way I'm playing, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the week.
Appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow. Jon, I know you went at birdie 18, but 65 is the second best score of the day. What do you feel like you did well today?
I'm happy I made par on 18. Let's just start with that. None of those lies I got in the rough looked easy to predict. You know, it's the second best round of the day. That says it all. I've been able to play some good rounds around here, but I've never been able to, you know, tame the back 9 and shoot a good score, and I was able to today. I kind of survived the first 6, 7 holes, played 8 and 9 solid, and kind of took it on the back 9 and played a really solid round of golf. I think I did a lot of things well. I would say, you know, my shots off the tee, my driving could get a little improvement. It's very tough to hit the fairways out here, but I just, you know, it was just a little bit off every which way, right and left. I was a little bit hesitant in a lot of the tee shots, kind of didn't let it flow like I did last week. If anything, that's what I would like to change. Besides that, iron game feels good, and I putted about as good as I've ever putted on Bermuda greens in my life. So hopefully I can keep that going. But I hope, you know, my tee to green game just improves a little bit more and play a bit more of a stress-free round the next few days.
You started this day with a 2-shot deficit to Dustin Johnson, but that deficit is no more. How important is that now as you move through the rest of this tournament?
You know, it's almost like you got to focus. I try to think of it as just a regular tournament and try to have the lowest score in all 4 days, right? Simple as that. But another way to look at it is thinking, hey, maybe it's a 5-round tournament. He shot 10 under yesterday, I shot 8 under, and now we're going on 4 days to win everything, right? So I kind of go between both thoughts. But it was hard the first 4 or 5 holes. You know, I was a little hesitant and everything, a little bit, and not uncomfortable, but just doubtful of the dynamics of everything, right? You rarely get to hit your first tee shot in a tournament already 2 shots back. It's just odd. So started with good par, good birdie on 2, struggled on 3 and 4, and after that I was already a little bit more comfortable and got the round going.
So let's compare how numbers 1 and 2, not only in the FedEx Cup but also in the official World Golf Ranking, got on today at Eastlake in the opening round. It was a 67 for DJ, 2 better by Jon Rahm, which is why they're now tied at 13 under, because Jon did begin the day 2 back. Amazingly few amount of fairways for both of them, just 3 of 14 for the Spaniard. He had more greens in regulation though, and you can see the putting statistics, both impressive. Jon Rahm nearly 130 feet of putts.
But you have to drive the ball well at Eastlake to play this golf course and be atop the leaderboard. If you look at the 13 FedEx Cup championships, 9 of the eventual winners finished in the top 10 in driving accuracy. There's only been 1 who finished outside of the top 14 in driving accuracy. So Jon Rahm is going to have to drive it a little bit better over the next 3 days if he expects to stay at the top of this leaderboard.
And you're right, Brando. He was lined up left. All those misses, and for a cutter, that's where you're trying to start it. But that's a Bruce Litsky cut, and there was no big sweeping cut going there. But I thought it was really interesting. The front 9 hitting 1 fairway. His proximity out of the rough was about 25 feet, and the average for the day was at 50. So he was under 30 feet in proximity to the rough. You're not going to get breaks like that all week long, and he does have to hit the ball in the fairway a little bit better. Maybe he makes that adjustment as it goes, but you're right. Most of the misses were left was alignment.
Golf is such a mental game, and if you come in with low expectations, that's sort of, that's always how I've played well. Whether don't feel like my game's in a good place, or I'm not the favorite coming into a tournament, all that stuff. I feel like that's when I usually play my best, and I can play with a bit of freedom, and that's what I did today.
First round as a father, how many times did you think of Poppy and think of your wife during the round?
Yeah, good, a little bit. It's like every 3 hours she's supposed to be fed, so I'm like, okay, there's a feeding coming up, and but it's natural. It's natural that, in between shots you think about other things, and obviously my mind has been very much on what's going on at home, and but it is nice to have this little 4 or 5 hours, to myself to, concentrate on my game and, sort of get into this stuff. And I played well today. I played really well. I played as good as I have in a long time, and, that was very encouraging.
I mean, what a day it was for Rory. First round as a father equaled the lowest round he's ever had at Eastlake.
It does just prove that perhaps he was distracted in the last couple of months since the PGA Tour returned to play in June. Just anxious, of course, about how the birth of your first child will go. But now it's been a healthy delivery. Mine's back to golf and playing some of the best we have seen. He is now a girl dad.
I feel like I'm in a good frame of mind, like I'm in a good place mentally right now, where I would like to feel that I would handle the golf course the same no matter what I was at. But I did a good job of just kind of staying in my game today, my focus, and just trying to make birdies when I gave myself a chance. I tried not to look at leaderboards today. I just tried to play golf and get in my own little world, and not really worry about what was going on and what those guys were doing or what the guys in front of me were doing, because it's I'm trying to beat every person for 72 holes that I'm playing in this week, and if that happens to beat everybody else, then so be it. I'm just happy that I put up a good round. I think I've had a hard time out here in the past where, I've shot a lot of 68s and 9s, just a lot of them, where I just, I kind of get off to not necessarily start like today, but 2-3 under through 7, 8, 9, and then just kind of stall like, I'm trying to maintain or not mess up as opposed to keep the pedal down, and felt like I did a good job of that today. I mean, that easily could have been a 61 or 2, and but for me to finish how I did those last 5 holes to save, one of those 68 or 9s that I've shot a lot in the past to turn it into a 66.
Well, Justin Thomas led the field in strokes gained tee to green today. He also leads the tour in that category this season. He is also the only 3-time winner on the PGA Tour this season, but his name is not on top of the leaderboard right now. He is 2 back of Dustin Johnson and Jon Rahm. DJ, by the way, has led or co-led after 6 of his last 11 rounds on the PGA Tour. Brandel, who do you think is the biggest threat heading into Saturday?
Look, it looked like the DJ and Rahm all-day story, but it looks like it's going to be a little more crowded at the top of that leaderboard, and JT's right. It could have very easily been 61 or 62.
Yeah, I think Xander Schauffele might be a little bit far back, but watch out for the chasers.
Okay, well, don't forget, it's the second round tomorrow. We have a Labor Day finish on Monday, and we will see you at noon Eastern. Have a good night.